Welcome to Speed City with John Massengale, Les Kaiser, and Jonathan Green. It's the fastest hour on the radio. Speed City.
All right, everybody, we're really excited to have our next guest. We are so excited. Conor Daly, welcome back to Speed City.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Hey, the IndyCar Challenge yesterday, that was fantastic. I loved it.
Well, I'm glad people did like it. I didn't really enjoy it as much, but I'm not a big sim racer. So I was hopefully just getting out there to maybe put on a show for the fans, connect with some people, maybe give them a little bit of a distraction from what's going on in the world. And what better way to do it, I guess, than kind of racing with all of our competitors. So it is what it is. We've got to do the best with what we've got right now, and I think we certainly are by giving this kind of content to our fan base.
Well, it was fun, and the broadcast that Lee Diffie and the boys were hosting was really great. I had that on the big screen, and then I had your Twitch feed on my laptop with my headphones. And I'll be honest, I ended up listening to you for almost the entire race because you and Alexander Rossi going at it and talking a little trash too. I loved it.
Yeah, no, it's fun because like Alex and I, we're on the same page. We're doing it because we can represent for our sponsors, we can represent for our teams, and I think that's the most important part. But they can't hear us, so for us to just kind of have our own little Discord channel and laugh about it and kind of trying to not take the seriousness away from it. But it is kind of cool to be able to give the fans my perspective of what's going on. The broadcast, I have no idea how the broadcast was. I assume it's great because those NBC guys do a great job. But yeah, I'm always going to be me. I'm never going to change. And if you drop by my Twitch channel, that's for sure what you're going to see.
Hey, Conor, I got a question. I did the Trans Am broadcast yesterday, and we got 30 actual Trans Am drivers, similar to what you were doing, same time, actually. But we're all learning as we go along. I think Fox has done a great job with NASCAR. I thought Indy's coverage was brilliant, especially because you've got Lee Diffie. You've got, it's familiar sounds and faces, and obviously all you guys involved. But I like the idea of the interaction. And as John says, I was listening to you and I was listening to Lando with Formula One. What's the preferred method? And you've done a little bit of this, and you're quite, you and Alex have done that podcast yourselves. But do you think it's better to have a couple of drivers challenging each other that we can tune in and listen to, or do you like the idea of also doing a TV broadcast as well?
I think the TV broadcast is certainly cool. I think NASCAR has executed that to a T. To be live on Fox Sports 1 is huge. They drew massive numbers for that, which is great. And obviously, we're not at that level yet, only because we're just dipping our toe in the water here. NASCAR has had an e-racing series for at least the last couple of years, and so has Formula One. So they have experience doing that. And I've been pushing IndyCar for years because I've been in this esports realm. I am a huge gamer, not necessarily racing games. I'm not a huge racing game guy, but Joseph Newgard and I, we've played every single Forza Motorsport game from Forza 1 to Forza 7 for hours in my basement when we were 13, 14, 15. That's how we, competed against each other away from the go-kart track, was on the Xbox. So I've been huge into gaming for a long time, but we haven't had the time. And IndyCar, they didn't have the staff to really dedicate to that either. But now we're forced into it. So I think that's cool, hopefully for the long run. But yeah, I think having a TV broadcast is good. But then also, we all probably have one or two different tech items that we have access to, whether it's a phone or an iPad or a laptop or something. So yes, have the TV broadcast going, have whatever your driver that you want to support on Twitch is doing as well. People are definitely getting more into that. Obviously, Sage had a channel going last night. Tony Kanaan called me today and he's like, do you have an extra webcam? Because he wants to stream something too. So I've got to give Tony this webcam that I've got here in my technology center. But yeah, I think it's cool to have both TV and the ability to see sort of driver firsthand experience.
Mm-hmm.
Conor, I've got a question. We've seen a lot of drivers, or I'll say a lot of gamers, go from the game to driving. Well, we get to turn the tables now. Does the track experience give you a leg up, although not in this audience, but does the track experience help you in the game?
I don't think so at all. The cars are so different in the game. I think the one thing that iRacing might get out of this is a bunch of real IndyCar drivers for the first time giving them feedback on the IndyCar, because it is very different from what the actual IndyCar is like to drive. And so that's, that could be a cool point of development for those guys. I mean, the experts that are tuning the setup, I love Watkins Glen, right? Like I'm a huge Watkins Glen fan. I mean, we almost were on the podium there in 2016 if we didn't run out of fuel with 1 lap to go. Well, half lap to go, so we finished 4th. Elio got me the line, and I loved that race. Like I thought it was so fun. We qualified well. They were always fast there. But on the sim, it's just there's not enough feel because Watkins Glen is so fast and there's so much feel, through the seat of your pants that you need. I can't quite get that out of a sim, and it's a different feel as well that we're trying to tell iRacing, like, hey, this is like, we got to tune this thing a little bit because it's not quite how the real car is, but that should be cool for them and their users, in the long run.
Conor, I heard you talking about it during the race, and I mean, it was during practice or qualifying, but you're talking about one of the corners and you couldn't believe that you lost traction. You were saying, man, I'm flat out normally in the car. And I guess that's exactly what you were just saying. Yeah,
I mean, there are a couple corners where the most challenging part is getting to power, and we don't have enough power in an Indy car to spin the wheels that aggressively. I mean, it's just you never see that, and it's also something that you can feel so easily. But maybe sitting on my IKEA chair from my kitchen table isn't necessarily the right way to go about doing it. But I think some of the other drivers, even with their $50,000 simulators that have been loaned to them, I think they're struggling with it as well. So it is what it is. We'll deal with it. I think racing on ovals will be much more fun, and we'll see tonight. I got this Gateway race tonight, but who knows?
So what kind of rig do you have?
Rig. That's a word. Well, Logitech. Logitech were really cool enough to send me. Basically, a year ago, I started setting up this the Conor Daly Technology Center in my guest room for my gaming career. And so Main Gear sent me a computer, and they designed it like my helmet. So that's really cool, black and green. And then I've got a Logitech steering wheel, G29, I think it is. I'm looking at the box. Logitech. So basically all Logitech everything. And it is what it is. And I'm sitting on literally, I don't have anything else. I looked at my house and I was like, I don't even have like weights I can use to like put behind the chair or anything heavy. So I've got my IKEA kitchen table chair with my suitcase behind it, pointed at it, so it helps to reduce the angle back. And then my pedals on the floor, I have carpet floor, so I thought it would have gripped the pedals, but after like 30 laps at Watkins Glen, it starts moving. So I figured out I had to put a cardboard box, a box of the webcam that I'm using, I think, behind it against the wall, so then they wouldn't move anymore. So we're getting there. It's not necessarily a sim rig, but it does get the job done. And for oval racing like tonight, like Gateway, we'll be on fire tonight. We'll be a rocket ship. But if I also correct too aggressively, it is mounted to a glass desk, so it might shatter and explode in a massive fashion. But if it does happen while I'm live streaming, it'll be great content.
That's right. It'll be your biggest ever. But,
Conor Daly brought to you by IKEA.
Yeah. Conor, but isn't this just perfect Conor Daly, though, that you always come in at the last second, you bring in the hired gun. This is perfect. And look, yesterday you came from pretty far back and ended up 10th, right? So there you go.
Yeah, it was good. Honestly, like I was not that fast, but to be fair, I only made one mistake early on, And I was really happy about that, because not being able to feel anything, it's so easy to make mistakes like that and spin out, but we didn't. So it was really cool. I mean, I think it got us some good, some good momentum, good pub for the Air Force. Jimmy Johnson put a photo of us together up on his Instagram, which was really cool, and that helps the Air Force as well. So yeah, I mean, realistically, we got to think about the people who actually contribute to our programs, who aren't necessarily getting the TV time or the exposure that they were supposed to be getting right around this time. And I think anything we can generate socially, whether it's through Twitch, whether it's through, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever it is, YouTube, I think is super important right now.
The iRacing platform, though, it's really cool. It works to watch. My wife walked through the room and she just looked at it, and then she did a double take. She didn't realize it was gaming at first, or sim. And so it definitely works. And I think, I know nothing's going to be perfect unless you've maybe got the $50,000 rig. Do those rigs, are they giving any other feedback besides steering wheel or anything? What all are they doing? Do you know?
Well, there's a couple rigs that are motion, but a lot of them like Jimmy Johnson's and Simon's, and actually most of the other guys competing, they all have more realistic brake pedals. So when you hit the brake pedal for accurate pressure, it reads properly, which is really nice. But yeah, it's more about being in the position of driving as well. That's always helpful. But we're on the Chevy simulator a lot. We've done, I think, 10 or 12 days so far at Pratt & Miller in Charlotte. Obviously we can't right now, but simulation is still a big part of our IndyCar development as well. Ed Carpenter Racing spends a lot of time on the sim. And now I started to hate that simulator because, again, I'm not a sim guy, but now I really want to go back to it after playing on my terrible setup here.
Conor, I got a question. You've always been chasing the money and a real hustler for getting your IndyCar drives. Is there a financial aspect to this potentially? I heard that a lot of actual drivers like yourself are now contacting designers in the games to get their own livery, to get their own car, sponsorship, as it were, that is important to them, helmets and so on. But is there an actual financial possibility for you here?
Well, I think everything's for sale at all times. You look at some of the NASCAR guys for their racing series. Landon Castle, he's literally sold sponsorship twice to 2 different companies now for both of those NASCAR events. And I don't know what the numbers on that look like. I really have no idea. But yeah, it's certainly, I've uploaded my U.S. Air Force car, obviously, to Trading Paints, the system that runs on iRacing, to make sure that, everyone can see it. And that is very important. For us, I wouldn't go out and sell it to a new sponsor, because I feel we want to make sure that the U.S. Air Force gets the most out of this. And if it's an Indy car, it's going to be a U.S. Air Force car. But the financial side on Twitch is actually important. We're not doing anything right now, right? So I don't know how everyone's contract works, but some people get paid monthly, some people get paid in race to race. It's kind of random. But Twitch, there is a way to generate money through Twitch. Twitch is a great platform for fans to support drivers or anyone, any creator. That's why I said Lando, when you mentioned him earlier. That guy is, the amount of subscriptions that he has. If you do the math on the numbers, he is making a considerable amount of money per month just by playing video games. And it's so hard for people to understand. If I tell people that, they're like, well, what do you mean? And I'm like, you have to know about it to really know about it. And once you figure it out, I've had a bunch of drivers ask me about it, because I was like, yeah, guys, it's literally it's not free money, but it's a cool way for people to support, their favorite guys or girls.
Well, I signed up as a subscriber, and it was $5 a month. And but I wanted
to get a free hat with that.
Yeah.
Well, you get access to special emotes in chat that only subscribers can use. And then, the whole point about it is if there's a subscriber or if someone donates to it, it's on us to be hey, We really appreciate that. Thank you so much for doing this or whatever. And like last year or 2 years ago, when I first started Twitch, I actually put some of the money that I raised on Twitch, I actually put everyone's handles on my go-kart at the Super Nationals like 2 years ago. And people loved it, right? So like anytime like that, I think you can get people involved. Like they like to see that. So that's why we use it.
Clever. Very clever.
Well, Conor, I think that one thing we can't all forget here is while I was watching that, I wasn't thinking about anything else. I wasn't worried about that I was stuck in my house. I wasn't worried about, everybody's got worries from, their health to money to everything else. And when you guys are doing this is great because I saw everybody in the chat. Everybody was totally engaged and having fun. And I know that, that this is going to help you guys, but it was a big help to everybody watching.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think right now, I'm annoyed waking up every day that we're not, not able to at least go out for lunch or dinner. You know what I mean? And it's really tough to stay, motivated because, it's really hard to look forward to end of May, June. You know what I mean? Like that is so far away. And my season normally starts in May anyway, but I'm on the road. Like I'm going to all the races. We're doing stuff. I can interact with my engineers. I can go see my team. But I can't even do that right now. So it is very difficult. Certainly it's been very difficult on me. I'm every day, we work out in the morning, work out in the evening. So, you can still do your training, but it's like, my gosh, there's still another 2 months or whatever. You know what I mean? It's so long to wait. So to have something like this, to maybe create some excitement, heck, we got a driver on Sports Center last night. That's hilarious. So, we got to do it. And honestly, it is very frustrating. And I think some drivers are very frustrated by it. But we're also competitive that, Tony Kanon's called me twice all day today looking for equipment and stuff like he wants to buy a new PC. He needs a webcam. And I was like, all right, here we go. So that was the last person I thought would be getting heavily into sim racing.
Conor, obviously the teams are taking care of their distance and everything. Is there anything going on with the car where individuals going in and working on their subsystem or anything like that?
Are you talking on the simulator or in real life?
In real life.
So no, honestly, our shop has been shut down. So everything in Indiana right now is it's a stay-at-home order. So it's a stay-at-home order until like April 7th. So right now it does look like the team, some of the guys will be going back to work like around April 7th or April 8th, which is the first time since St. Pete. I can't even go in and get like my helmets or anything out of the trailer. Because I was at the go-kart track today. I did like 250 laps at the go-kart track today, and I couldn't get any of my stuff for it, so I was just using some of my old stuff. But yeah, so I think everyone's just looking forward to that day because obviously I think a lot changes when it comes to preparation because the month of May, there's 3 separate cars for our team that are purely prepped for the month of May for the Indy 500 because it's the first oval race. Well, now the first oval race is Texas. So I don't know how that's going to work. I think there's probably going to have to be some reshuffling of the chassis because my Indy 500 car was painted and done and in the trailer as my backup car in St. Pete. But now I don't know how that works. I don't know if that's Ed's car for Texas or if my road course car is now going to be Ed's oval car for Texas. So there's definitely going to be some interesting change of plans, I guess, throughout the first couple weeks of getting back to work.
Conor, I've got one final question for you, and I mentioned this in Trans Am yesterday. But when you're racing tonight and when we tune in next week to watch you doing Indy, think about all those mechanics sitting at home with a beer going, not my problem.
Yeah, no, it's true. I had my feeler text me. I had my engineer. He was telling me, he's like, he made a comment about my brake bias. He's like, oh man, that darn brake bias. He's like, I know, tell me about it. And yeah, so the guys are definitely race mechanics and race teams work so hard, and they work all the time, more than people ever see. And, it is mandatory time off right now, which I think some people appreciated for probably the first 3 days, but everyone wants to get back to work. Everyone loves racing. the guys on our team are so dedicated to, to what they want to do and to winning races. So, I'm excited to see basically when we get back to work how it all is. And honestly, I just want to get through every day as quick as possible and get to May. And it's going to be weird in May not going to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but hopefully, we can get rolling at Detroit and just start from there and start strong.
Well, Conor Daly, thank you so much, man. We appreciate you coming on, and I want you guys to you and your family stay safe, and we'll be watching you and shouting at you on Twitch.
Yeah, we appreciate that, guys. I'll be streaming it tonight too, so we'll see how it goes.
Good luck.
All right. Thanks a lot, Conor.
Thanks, guys.